Long time no see, this is YouTube Medical University. There is some serious data regarding diabetes. In Japan, as many as 500,000 people who are receiving treatment for diabetes stop their treatment within a year. Even though they have been diagnosed with diabetes, 1 out of 3 people doesn't see a doctor. Why is that? The reason is simple. Even if they try hard, it seems like nothing changes and nothing feels wrong. They resist sweets every day, keep up with walking, and yet at the next checkup, their hemoglobin A1C, which is the average blood sugar value, has only dropped by 0.1. Have any of you had that kind of experience? However, if you listen to today's lesson, those worries will completely disappear. That's because when your blood sugar level starts to go down, changes are actually happening in your body. Even before you see changes in the numbers, your body is already giving you the answer. And in the second half of today's video, I'll also introduce some symptoms that can actually occur as your blood sugar improves, symptoms that most doctors don't properly explain. Not knowing this, you might think your symptoms are worsening despite your efforts and lower blood sugar. This misunderstanding can discourage you and make you feel like giving up, causing some to stop treatment. I made today's video so that you can approach your treatment with the right knowledge. So in the first part today, I'll talk about why it's important to know the signs when your blood sugar is dropping and how that helps you keep going. Then in the second part, the part you've been waiting for, I'll introduce the 6 changes in your body that appear when your blood sugar starts to go down. I'll also suggest self-check methods. And in the third part, I'll talk about what you can do to maximize the good changes in your body when your blood sugar starts to drop. I'll introduce 3 things you can start doing today, as well as things you shouldn't do. So first, in the first part, but if you want to quickly know the actual signs, feel free to skip ahead and start watching from the second part. I want everyone to know something important. The value called hemoglobin A1C is a test that reflects the average over the past 1 to 2 months. This is where it gets tricky. With blood pressure, you notice changes immediately when measuring. If it's your weight, you'll notice changes by weighing yourself daily. However, with hemoglobin A1C, even if you work hard yesterday or today, those changes hardly show up in the numbers. Results will appear in 2 months. So there's a big gap between your current efforts and the changes you see right in front of you. But on the other hand, regular blood sugar levels are greatly affected by your most recent meal. So no matter how hard you try, if you just eat a little too much before the test, your blood sugar will come out high. There really isn't a test that can immediately and accurately evaluate your efforts. There was actually someone like this. There was a 60-year-old person whose hemoglobin A1C was very high at 9.2%. From the day they were diagnosed, they really worked hard, quit eating sweets, walked for 30 minutes every day, and steadily lost weight. However, at the checkup a month later, their hemoglobin A1C level hadn't gone down as much as expected. So he said this. He was disappointed and said, "Doctor, if I can't do it even after trying this hard, then it's impossible for me." So what I told him were the 6 signs I talked about in part 2. I told him, aren't you noticing changes in your physical condition before the numbers change? I also said, I'm sure that after another month, this value will drop significantly, so let's keep working hard like this. He often seems surprised and says things like, now that you mention it, doctor, maybe I'm urinating less often, or the bitterness in my mouth has changed. He asks, do these kinds of things count as signs? So whether or not you can actually feel your body changing as your blood sugar improves is closely related to your motivation for treatment. This is the biggest turning point in whether you can continue with the treatment or not. A study in a leading British medical journal found that people who continued diabetes treatment for over a year had about a 3-fold lower risk of complications 5 years later compared to those who stopped early. Whether you can continue for a year significantly affects your risk 5 years later. So in part 2, I will immediately introduce the 6 signs. 6 signs your blood sugar is dropping. Here's the first. You wake up feeling refreshed in the morning. This is usually the first sign when your blood sugar drops. I've started waking up feeling more refreshed. Many people don't even notice it themselves, but I used to have a bitter taste in my mouth, and that kind of thing has also disappeared. On the other hand, the morning heaviness I felt when my blood sugar was high, or the bitterness in my mouth, those are often signs that your blood sugar is high. Why does that happen? The key word is growth hormone. You might think that growth hormone is just for helping children grow taller, right? That's true, but it's also important for adults. During the day, our muscles, organs, and even our brains sustain tiny injuries that we don't even notice. It's this growth hormone that repairs those injuries during the night. However, if your blood sugar levels remain high, it's harder for this growth hormone to be secreted. The reason is that growth hormone itself also raises blood sugar levels. So if your blood sugar is already high, producing more growth hormone would raise your blood sugar even more. So the factory that produces growth hormone takes a break. As a result, your body doesn't get repaired, and you wake up in the morning with fatigue-causing substances still built up, so you tend to feel sluggish or experience similar symptoms. So, on the other hand, when your blood sugar drops, growth hormone starts to be released. It's said that improvements like being able to wake up feeling refreshed in the morning are more likely to happen. So, as a self-check, have you noticed any changes like these in your body? The bitterness in your mouth when you wake up is gone. You started waking up before your alarm. It's easier to get up in the morning now with less sluggishness. 6 signs that your blood sugar is dropping. Here's the second one. The number of times you go to the bathroom at night decreases. When your blood sugar is high, you actually have to urinate more often. The cause is the glucose dissolved in your blood vessels. When glucose is dissolved in your blood vessels, it draws a lot of water due to osmotic pressure. For people with diabetes, sugar leaks into the urine. When there's a lot of sugar in the urine, osmotic pressure causes a lot of water to be drawn into the urine, which leads to a condition called polyuria or excessive urination. Simply put, when you excrete sugar, that much water also leaves your body. Because a lot of water is taken from the body, people with high blood sugar often experience dry mouth. You get thirsty and drink water, but because of diabetes, you urinate a lot. This makes your mouth dry again, and you drink more water, creating a vicious cycle. However, once your blood sugar starts to go down, these symptoms disappear, and the number of times you urinate decreases first. As a result, you wake up less often at night to use the bathroom, improving your sleep quality. It becomes easier to recover from fatigue. Please make sure to notice these kinds of changes in your body. So as a self-check, the number of times you go to the bathroom at night has decreased from 2 or more to once or less, and your morning thirst has eased. Your daily water intake has naturally decreased. Noticed any of these body changes? Be sure to check for them. Here is the third of the 6 signs that your blood sugar is coming down. The drowsiness after meals disappears. Does anyone experience abnormal drowsiness after meals? After lunch? Your eyelids feel as heavy as lead. Even in meetings, you feel yourself starting to drift off. Does anyone else experience this? You may wonder if it's due to age or overwork. Some people might think that, but actually this could be happening because of rapid fluctuations in your blood sugar levels. And recent studies have shown that a substance called orexin is also involved in this. Orexin might be an unfamiliar substance to you, but it's actually a very important one. It's produced in the brain and helps us stay awake. So orexin is an important substance, isn't it? The reason we can stay alert and awake during the day like this is thanks to orexin. It's essentially the brain's wakefulness switch. What's interesting here is the relationship between orexin and blood sugar levels. When blood sugar is low, orexin increases. When blood sugar is high, orexin decreases. This has been clearly demonstrated in research. Let's think about why this mechanism exists. The hunter-gatherer era was the longest period in human history. Try to imagine it. Imagine humans getting hungry as hunter-gatherers searching for mammoths, but they can't find any prey. They're getting hungrier. At times like that, if they don't go out to hunt for prey, they can't survive, right? In other words, when people are facing a life-threatening situation, they can't sleep. So, when you're hungry and your blood sugar is low, humans release a lot of orexin and your mind actually becomes sharper. And on the other hand, when you find prey, eat a lot, and your blood sugar rises, you need to rest your tired body so orexin levels drop and you start to feel sleepy. However, in patients with diabetes, their blood sugar spikes after eating, so orexin levels drop and they suddenly become very sleepy. In other words, when treatment begins and blood sugar levels go down, orexin secretion stabilizes and you become less likely to feel sleepy after meals. Please try comparing how you feel before and after starting treatment. So as a self-check, you can see that you no longer feel extremely sleepy after lunch. Your afternoon focus has returned. You fall asleep at the table less often. 6 signs that your blood sugar is coming down. Here's the 4th one. Your vision becomes clearer. This is a rather unexpected sign. I've talked many times on YouTube Medical University about how diabetes can cause complications that affect your eyesight. It's true that if diabetes is left untreated, you'll gradually develop what's called retinopathy, where the blood vessels are damaged and your vision deteriorates. However, what I'm going to talk about today is something different, something that happens at a much earlier stage. Actually, when your blood sugar is high, there's something in your eye called the lens, which is like the lens of a camera. Changes also occur here. When there's a lot of glucose in your blood, sugar also gets into the lens, disrupting the balance of fluids and causing the lens to swell slightly. As a result, some people experience changes that make it harder to focus.
という変化をきたす人がいらっしゃいます。
Some people may notice that newspaper print becomes blurry or that it's harder to see signs. Many might think it's just worsening presbyopia or eye fatigue, but sometimes it's actually due to blood sugar levels. And when you work hard on treatment and your blood sugar goes down, the balance of fluid in the lens of your eye returns, making it easier to focus. You might feel like the print in the newspaper is a bit clearer lately, or that the headlights of oncoming cars at night don't seem as glaring. If you notice these changes, it could mean that the lens in your eye is returning to its original shape. However, there's one thing to be careful about. Right after starting treatment, your vision might actually get temporarily worse. As your blood sugar drops rapidly, the shape of the lens is being readjusted, which can make it harder to focus for a while. For most people, things stabilize within a few weeks. I want you to know this so you don't get anxious or stop treatment unexpectedly. It's really important to have the right knowledge. Let's do a self-check. Can you now see text clearly in newspapers or on your smartphone? Headlight glare when driving at night has reduced, and your vision is now less hazy and blurry. 6 signs that your blood sugar is coming down. Here's the 5th one. Numbness in your feet and pain occurs. The 5th sign is, this is the most important sign I'll discuss today. Actually, when your blood sugar level starts to come down, symptoms like tingling, prickling, or pain in your feet can get worse. Doesn't numbness usually happen when your blood sugar is high? Many people think that way. However, in reality, the opposite can also happen. Medically, this is sometimes called painful neuropathy after treatment. For people who have had high blood sugar for a long time, when they start treatment and their blood sugar levels go down, some experience numbness in their feet, tingling pain, and sometimes these symptoms even spread up to their calves or thighs. Try to imagine why it hurts even though things are getting better. For a long time, your feet have been numb or have had reduced sensation. It's like they've been in hibernation. When your blood sugar is high, your feet may feel numb or your sensation may become dull. The nerves go into a hibernation state. So you start treatment and improve your lifestyle. As your blood sugar drops, nerves that were dormant slowly wake up. That's the image I want you to picture. As the nerves begin to reboot, those signals lead to tingling and prickling sensations. In other words, you could say that this pain is a sign that your nerves are starting to become active again. It's normal to feel anxious about such a tough symptom. Some people even stop their treatment because they're worried about what will happen if it doesn't get better. Some people think it's better to have high blood sugar than to deal with this, but in most cases, these symptoms settle down within a few weeks to a few months. However, keep this important point in mind. If you lower your blood sugar too quickly, these symptoms can become more severe. So it's better to take your time. As medical professionals, we don't try to lower blood sugar all at once. We gradually try to lower it. So I hope you can understand that. Wasn't it unexpected? If you've had such experiences, it would be very helpful, so please share them in the comments if you don't mind. So, for self-checking, after starting treatment, if you feel tingling or numbness in your feet and the symptoms are stronger before bed or when you're at rest, these might not be signs of things getting worse, but rather signs that your blood sugar levels are improving. 6 signs that your blood sugar is coming down. Here's the 6th one. Wounds heal faster. Lastly, it's a hidden sign. Small wounds start to heal faster. Why does such a pleasant change happen? Our body's white blood cells, the cells that fight off germs, actually become less effective when blood sugar levels are high. Even if germs get into your body, it's hard to fight them off. Infections can spread more easily. And since the blood vessels are also damaged, it's difficult to deliver the nutrients needed to repair the skin. Because of these factors, when your blood sugar is high, wounds are harder to heal. People with diabetes tend to have mouth ulcers that last longer, scrapes that take a long time to scab over, and infection can easily spread from even small wounds. However, when your blood sugar levels go down, your white blood cells start working better, and those shaving cuts that used to take a long time to heal start healing quickly. If you notice small changes like that, it might be because your blood sugar is decreasing. So as a self-check, if your mouth ulcers start healing within a week, small wounds heal faster, and you catch colds less often, these are good signs. There are actually patients like this. This is a woman in her 70s. At the start of her treatment, her hemoglobin A1C was quite high at 8.7%, but after beginning treatment, her numbers improved. When I told her that her numbers had gone down, she said this: "Doctor, I'm really surprised myself. It's become easier to get up in the morning, and I don't have to go to the bathroom as often, which really helps. My family even tells me that my complexion looks different." She told me this with a very happy expression. These are the physical changes that happen when diabetes starts to improve. Your body lets you know before the numbers do. Now let's move on to the practical part. To help the 6 signs appear more quickly and reliably, I'll briefly introduce 3 things you can start doing today to help bring out these changes in your body. The first of the 3 habits to maximize physical changes is this: a short walk after meals. Blood sugar levels peak between 30 minutes to an hour after eating. Just taking a light walk during this time can help suppress the rise in blood sugar. In a study conducted at a university in New Zealand, participants with diabetes were observed. They compared a group that walked for 10 minutes after each meal with a group that walked for 30 minutes all at once in a day. So, the group that walked 10 minutes after each meal for a total of 30 minutes showed an interesting result. They were able to suppress the rise in blood sugar after meals by about 12%. Even just 10 minutes is enough. Even just stepping in place while doing the dishes or simply walking around the house might be good enough. After a meal, try moving for just 10 minutes. After eating, take out the trash and then walk for 10 minutes on your way back. Even just that can help suppress the rise in blood sugar levels, maximize the changes in your body. The second of the 3 habits is this: eat vegetables first. This is often called eating vegetables first. It's quite well known, so I think many of you already know about it. According to Japanese research, those who practiced veg first for 3 months saw their hemoglobin A1C drop by 0.5% more compared to those who didn't. There are also such reports. However, there are some points to be careful about with this report. It's not just about doing veg first alone. You need to eat plenty of vegetables and make sure to chew thoroughly. So in order to do veggie first, make sure to eat vegetables with every meal and start by chewing the vegetables well. The idea is that the vegetables line your stomach, and then the absorption of sugars that come afterward becomes slower. That's the kind of effect you can expect. Chewing well itself makes your mealtime longer, so your blood sugar is less likely to spike. To maximize changes in your body, here's the third of the 3 habits. Replace your snacks. After you eat lunch, you get a little hungry before dinner, right? I think that's true for everyone. So, not having any snacks at all can be pretty tough, and if you skip snacks and end up overeating at night instead, your blood sugar can spike rapidly from a low state, which is said to make you more likely to experience a blood sugar spike, a rapid rise, and then a sudden drop. So, actually, snacking strategically is also important for preventing overeating at night. So what kind of snacks should you have? My recommendation is protein. The reason is that protein burns calories during digestion and absorption, and it's said that eating more protein can help control excessive appetite. Also, in order to maintain the necessary amount of protein for the day, it's difficult to get enough protein just from 3 meals. Things like chicken breasts, boiled eggs, or fish cake are fine too. Please make sure to supplement the necessary amount of protein you need each day. Protein digests slowly, helping you feel full longer. If you struggle with snacking, try eating something with protein. How about replacing your snacks with foods that are high in protein? So to summarize today's lesson, here are 6 signs your body gives when your blood sugar starts coming down. The first one is, you wake up feeling refreshed in the morning. Second, you go to the bathroom less often at night. Third, the drowsiness after meals disappears. Fourth, your vision becomes clearer. Fifth, you may temporarily feel numbness or pain in your legs. Sixth, your wounds heal faster. And to maximize these changes in your body, here are 3 habits. First, take a short walk after meals. Second, eat your vegetables first. Third, replace your snacks. What did you think? Even if you don't see much improvement with treatment and you might feel discouraged, it's possible that changes are happening in your body. Knowing about this hope can help you keep going with your treatment, and continuing your treatment will become an investment in your future health. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, things will definitely change. Your body will surely show you signs of change even before the numbers do. Please listen to those signs. Maybe you'll think, I'll keep trying a little longer, or I've noticed these changes. If you notice anything from this video, please let me know in the comments. I read all the comments and I will reply to them as well. And I have an announcement. I am giving away a free single-page A4 PDF handout that clearly summarizes the 6 signs I talked about today. If you add the official line account in the description and send the message "it went down," I will send it to you for free right away. Also, here at YouTube Yilo Dajue, we continue to share videos from the perspective of a practicing physician that can help you become healthier starting tomorrow. If you like, I would be happy if you subscribe to the channel. Well then, see you in the next video. As a general practitioner, I've learned from my patients how not to grow old from your 70s onward. I want to live like this too. I never knew there was such a way to live. These stories are filled with lessons I've learned from many of my patients. Chatting with friends is more important than exercise. When it comes to medicine, less is often better than more. This is packed with wisdom on how to live a healthy and happy life at any age. Please check it out from the description below.